Hey there, everybody. It's the author, and you're joining me for the Fast 15. As we normally do, we take no more than about 15 minutes to have a moment to pause, check up, check in, enjoy an encouraging note from any of my books or audio books, and then close out with a couple of updates, announcements, and get you going. As you know, sometimes when life is lifing, you can't always wait until the next day or later in the day. So hopefully today gives people a little bit of a moment to kind of pause, reboot, reset, refresh, all that, and then some. I know it does for me, so hopefully it does for you and others you know. So feel free to just take in the experience and all that type of thing, and let's go ahead and pause, and then we'll keep it moving. So before we get into our topic for the day, as I always make sure to do, we know that all of us are dealing with something. Some of us are dealing with some real serious stuff day in and day out. So if that sounds like you or someone you know that's dealing with, let's say, a health issue, be it physical or mental, a financial issue, um, life decisions issue, or things along those lines, please, please, please take a moment. As the elders would say, go sit down somewhere, just slow down your moving parts and do so in as constructive a manner as possible. And know that there are people that care. There's some people that don't, but there are people that care. So just kind of do what you can to slow things down. And once you see the issue for what it is, if you do have access to professional help, if what you're dealing with requires professional help or attention, if you've got access to it, please go ahead and take advantage. If it means you just have to change your routine or things along those lines, identify the constructive things you need to do to maintain your peace, to maintain your calm, and be in a position where you can grow, flourish, and really tap into who you really are and identify who you really are. On the flip side, there are people who are really in a good space. They're keeping everything, as manageable as possible. They're enjoying success, achievement, all those types of things. Please take a moment to pause, reflect, celebrate, feed off the positive energy. Just don't overdo it, but it's okay to do something or move something or something along those lines. So bottom line is definitely celebrate your successes, but keep it in perspective and feed off the positives. As long as those things are allowing you and others immediate and beyond to grow in a positive manner, then please let's make sure to take note of that. So, in taking note, our topic from today is going to come from, of course, quotes and notes. Something's on the horizon, I know, but it's just a good think piece and journal piece with the original quotes, the logic, explanation behind it, and a place for you to journal. So, here's the note for today. It's not always about your pace. At times, it's about your perspective and peace. It's not always about your pace. At times, it's about your perspective and peace. And this reminds me of a recent conversation I had with a good friend of mine who was kind of walking through, their share of moving parts and mapping some things out and all that type of thing. And, it reminded me during our conversation, reminded me of the adage sometimes you can't see the forest through the trees. And that's all of us, myself included. We get so locked in at times on our day to day, whether it's, work or family or events and all that type of stuff. We get so locked in that sometimes we don't see the big picture. We might not even see the small picture. So when we had our conversation and I was able just to kind of share something from a different vantage point, it's something that reminded me that I have to be open to that too. We all have tunnel vision depending on what it is. We get locked in on stuff, and at times that's good and at times that's needed. But sometimes you get so locked in on the small picture that you don't see the big picture. And sometimes, while there are some tasks that require us to expedite, our process, and I've said this before, the best steaks are what? Marinated. And marinating means what? Taking time. So sometimes we have to slow our pace and take our time, but then it allows us to see things a lot clearer, a lot better, and we can see the big picture and hopefully make better and sound decisions across the board. So I'd love to thank the friend of mine with whom I had that great conversation. Hopefully it was helpful to them, but it was definitely helpful for me. And I think what's helpful for you is, of course, some of the great insights that I have to make sure I revisit from quotes and notes. Something's on the horizon. So, a couple things as we get ready to wind down, as I know we've been doing these and moving at a little bit quicker tempo, I know, but it's still an opportunity to get that pause and get that perspective. So, with upcoming events, as usual, there's a couple things in the works. Once we have them solidified, we'll get those shared as we look forward to partaking of different festivals, book signings, author talks, all those types of things. So we'll definitely get things ramped up later in the spring. Best wishes to those who will be in San Antonio this weekend for the San Antonio African American Book Festival. Unfortunately, due to scheduling, I'm not going to be able to participate, but definitely want to give shouts to those folks that are going to be there, so make sure to check them out. A couple other things to check out. Check out Phoenix Blue, Fenyxblue. She's dropping some great gems for Black History Month each and every day, so definitely make sure to check it out. Shout out to everybody who's acknowledging, respecting, and celebrating Black History Month. It's really, ladies and gentlemen, as a reminder, it is American history, and the simple reason for the highlight, without going too deep, for so many years, the contributions of people of African descent, whether Black folk here in America to across the globe, have been systematically left out and minimized. But the more you discover, the bigger impact you see that Black people have, not only in this country, but across the globe. So make sure to take time beyond this month. This month is a highlight, but beyond this month to really dig deep and realize, hey, a lot of stuff that we take for granted, Black folk had something to do with it. And look, refrigeration is an example, and there's so many other things. So make sure to discover, rediscover, and check that out. And I think maybe next week I may actually read from one of the books that I'll go ahead and do that, because the first Wednesday of each month is when I usually pull a selection from another author. So I think, for next week, I'll pull from one of those great historical texts. Shouts to every reader, book club, bookstore, book festival, special event, all that, and then some, as this month marks year number 9 as a published author. So I'm thankful and grateful to everybody lending support. So many, many thanks. So, of course, we'll have some good things coming up on the horizon. Make sure to check them out. So, folks, I'm going to go ahead and wind down a little bit earlier. Of course, we'll get back to the usual 15 minutes. I know I've been doing like 7 to 8 minutes, but there's a reason behind it, and I'll explain that. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure to, be encouraged, be motivated by what we share here. Take the time to pause, think, reflect, and, all of us just try to be a little bit better today than we were the day before. So in closing, as you already know, whether small or big, a victory is a victory. Whether slow or swift, movement is movement. Keep it victorious. Keep it moving. All of you, take very good care. Be safe out there. Last note for those in the mid-Atlantic region, especially Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, I'm sure Massachusetts, all of you getting bombarded with the snow, please be careful. Seriously, please be careful. Please, if you don't have to be on the road, stay off the roads. Hopefully power, all those types of things are intact. If not, get somewhere safe as best as possible. So that's a special note for the people up in the Northeast. All of you guys, take very good care. Be safe out there. And again, whether small or big, victory is a victory. Whether slow or swift, movement is movement. Keep it victorious. Keep it moving. Take good care, and I'll see you soon.